In kinematics, we will study this circular motion. Circular motion is also two-dimensional motion of a body or motion in a plane. Suppose this is a particle P which is situated here. At t is equal to 0, let the particle is at A. At t is equal to 0, the particle is at A. It starts rotating in an anti-clockwise direction with some speed v. If v is constant, so particle starts its motion from A. It moves with speed v, and in time t, at any time t, let the particle is at P. So we can say the distance traveled by the particle, that is s, is v into t. This s means the length of this arc A to P. From here we can say theta, that is also equal to s by r. So s can be written as r into theta. S is the length of arc, r is the radius of the particle, radius of the circle, and theta is the angle at any time t which this particle makes with x-axis. Now theta is the angular position of the particle from origin, so we can say d theta by dt. There is one term which we will write, that is omega, which is equal to d theta by dt. The rate of change of theta is called angular speed omega, and it is expressed in radian per second. This is the angular velocity. Sometimes it is also called angular velocity. Now, the rate of change of this omega means d omega by dt, that is equal to d square theta by dt square, and d theta dt square, that is also called angular acceleration, and it is expressed in radian per second square. So d omega by dt is called angular acceleration, and it is represented by alpha, and it is expressed in radian per second square. Now from here we can say ds is also equal to r into d theta, because if r is constant, I can say ds is r d theta. So from here I can say ds by dt. If I divide this expression by dt, then I get ds by dt, that is equal to v, and v is equal to r, and d theta by dt is omega. We will study this vector representation in next heading. So speed is always equal to r into angular speed. This is the relation between linear speed, angular speed, and radius. Now see this video. When a particle is moving in a circular path, see this is a rod which is fixed at O, and this is particle 1, 2, and 3. These three particles, this rod is rotating in a circular path about O with some constant angular velocity omega. See the motion of this particle. This particle is moving in a smaller circle, this one is moving in a bigger circle, and this one is moving some more bigger circle. This is the rod which was moving on a circular path with some angular velocity omega. This particle, this blue particle, is situated at distance r1. This is situated at distance r2, and finally this one is situated at distance r3. So we can say theta is same. So v1 is the speed of the first particle. This is v1, this is v2, and this is v3. So the speed of the three particles is totally different. So v1 is equal to r into omega. We know r1 into omega because r1 is different. R1 is here is small, so v1 is small, but omega in all these three situations, for all this three particle, omega is same. So and similarly v2 is equal to r2 into omega naught, and v3 is equal to r3 into omega naught. So v1, v2, v3 is different. The particle which is situated at distance r1, since this rod is rotating with the constant angular velocity omega naught, so the particle which is situated near to this axis will move with a smaller speed, and the particle which is situated at large distance, it is moving with some more speed because it travel more distance in some same time. This distance is s3, and in the same time this distance is s2, but here it is s1, and we can see s1 is very small and s2 is large and s3 is very large. See this particle, if it is rotating, it travel equal distance if omega is constant. So it covers equal distance in equal time. We'll write some vector form. Suppose, let's analyze the motion of this red particle. Now suppose this red particle is situated at distance r. The position vector, let this be our origin, this be our x-axis and this be our y-axis. At any instant, let this angle be theta, and we know theta, that is equal to, theta is omega into t. Here omega is constant. We will treat omega as constant. So if this rod is rotating with a constant angular velocity, we will see the motion of this particle p. Now at any instant, the position vector of this particle, position vector can be written as, will drop a perpendicular from here. Now we know this distance, that is equal to r cos theta, and this is r sin theta. Now position vector can be written as, this vector r can be written as, it is r cos theta I cap, this is r cos theta I cap plus r sin theta j cap. So it is position vector of this particle p at any time t is r cos theta I cap plus r sin theta j cap. But we know here theta is also equal to omega t, so we can write r is equal to r cos omega t I cap plus r sin omega t j cap. This is the instantaneous position vector. Now if we differentiate this, we know the instantaneous velocity is given by dr by dt. So dr by dt is the rate of change of position vector, and that is equal to, differentiation of cos omega t is minus sin omega t into omega, so it is minus r omega sin omega t I cap, and differentiation of sin omega t is cos omega t into omega, so it is r omega cos omega t j cap. This is the instantaneous velocity of the particle, means the particle is moving in this direction. This is the velocity of the particle at this instant, at this time t. Now if we take the mod of this instantaneous velocity, we know mod of this instantaneous velocity is root over r omega square sin square omega t plus r square omega square cos square omega t. The root of this comes out to be r into omega, and this is the speed of the particle. So if v is constant, then omega is also constant. The speed of the particle, though the particle is moving with constant speed, but the direction of velocity, the direction of the velocity of the particle is continuously changing. So t is changing, so it is having acceleration. If we differentiate velocity, then we get instantaneous acceleration, and dv by dt is minus r omega square cos omega t I cap minus r omega square sin omega t j cap. This is the instantaneous acceleration of the particle. Now this acceleration can also be written as a, that is equal to minus r omega square into cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap. Now if we see from here this expression, we can say cos omega t I cap plus r sin omega t j cap, that is also equal to vector r divided by mod r. This is equal to cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap. So we can write this as, it is minus r omega square into cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap. From this expression we can write it as vector r divided by r. So it is equal to minus omega square into position vector. Now if we see this acceleration is directed towards the center, opposite to the direction of position vector. So this acceleration is also sometimes called centripetal acceleration. This is called centripetal acceleration. Sometimes if the particle is moving in a circular path, then this is called centripetal acceleration. Otherwise this is sometimes also called normal acceleration. The magnitude of centripetal acceleration is omega square, and mod of vector r is capital R, the radius of the circle. This is the centripetal acceleration of the particle, and as we know, omega is also equal to v by r. We know omega is also equal to v by r. So from here we can write this omega is v by r, so it comes out to be v square by r. So centripetal acceleration, magnitude of centripetal acceleration is r omega square, or that is also equal to v square by r. If we take the dot product of velocity and instantaneous acceleration, so velocity and instantaneous acceleration both are mutually perpendicular. A dot v is always 0. So this is about the centripetal acceleration. Since the particle is moving on a circular path with constant speed, see, this particle is moving with constant speed, but the acceleration of the particle is not 0. So this acceleration means the centripetal acceleration is responsible for changing the direction of velocity. So centripetal acceleration only changes the direction of velocity. So we can say normal acceleration not changes only direction of velocity. Normal acceleration never changes the magnitude of velocity. So if there is change in magnitude of velocity, so we can say there is some acceleration which is called tangential acceleration, and tangential acceleration is along the direction of velocity which is equal to dv by dt. V is the speed of the particle. The rate of change of speed of the particle is called tangential acceleration, whereas normal acceleration, the magnitude of normal acceleration is v square by r, or it is also equal to omega square r. So this is about the normal acceleration. Normal acceleration is responsible for only changing the direction of velocity, and if there is change in magnitude, there must be another acceleration which is called tangential acceleration. So tangential acceleration and normal acceleration, so we can say the total acceleration is the sum of tangential acceleration and normal acceleration. See this particle, this rod, if the same rod is rotating with an angular acceleration alpha about O. So if it is rotating with an angular acceleration with an alpha, then what happens? See, this is a particle, this is a rod which is rotating about O with an angular acceleration alpha. Now in this situation, we can see the displacement of the particle is different. This particle and this particle, their distance travel in same time is different. In this case, angular acceleration is constant, so this particle is moving in a smaller circle and this is moving in a bigger circle, but if you see, the distance traveled by the particle in same interval is different and it goes on increasing. Here the distance is very small, the particle is very close, but here it is moving farther away. So if the particle is moving with acceleration, angular acceleration, then in that case the angle traveled by the particle is different. So in this case we can never say ki theta is equal to omega into t. This is wrong expression here because omega is not constant. Now here we can say v is equal to ds by dt, and the tangential acceleration is dv by dt. So from here I can say dv, that is equal to a into dt. So dv is equal to a dt, so v comes out to be a into t if the particle at t is equal to 0 if it is at rest. So from here I can say ds is equal to v means a into t into dt. Here a is tangential acceleration, this is a. So from here I can say s is equal to a into t square by 2 if the particle starts its motion from here. So this is the distance traveled by the particle in time t, this is s, and from here I can say ds is also equal to r into d theta. So ds, we know ds is, so r d theta can be written as ds, and we know ds is at dt, so it is a into t into dt. So from here I can say d theta is equal to a by r into t into dt. After integration we get theta, that is equal to 1 by 2 a by r into t square. This is the angular displacement, this is angle theta. This angle is theta as a function of time. Theta here is different. We can never say theta here is omega into t if the particle initially is at rest. Theta is equal to 1 by 2 alpha 1 to t square. See, this particle, this rod, is rotating with a constant angular velocity. If it is rotating with a constant angular acceleration, then its velocity will go on increasing. See its motion. So omega is increasing. Here alpha is constant. The particle is rotating with a constant angular acceleration. Then in that situation, the value of theta will go on increasing with time. If the particle is rotating with a constant angular acceleration, this theta and this theta is different. So this is the motion under constant angular acceleration. Here the particle is going rotation with an angular acceleration about this point O, and the speed of the particle v is also increasing. This is v, which is equal to, I have already written here, v is equal to a into t. So the speed of the particle is also increasing. V is equal to a into t. So the speed of the particle goes on increasing. So we can say the centripetal acceleration, that is equal to v square by r, and v square means it is at. So it is a square into t square by r. This is the centripetal acceleration. This is AC, and the tangential acceleration is a. This is tangential acceleration. So if the particle is moving with a constant angular acceleration, so it is having tangential acceleration as well as normal acceleration. So this is the total acceleration of the particle. So the particle is having tangential as well as normal acceleration. So the net acceleration of the particle is in this direction. Means this is the tangential acceleration of the particle, this is the normal acceleration of the particle, and this is the total acceleration of the particle. If I say what is this angle? This angle is, let it be phi. So we can say tan phi is equal to normal acceleration divided by tangential acceleration. This is the angle made by the total acceleration with tangential acceleration. A rod PQ of length L is moving such that P is moving with speed u at an angle with rod and Q is moving with some speed at an angle beta with the rod. Find the angular speed omega of the rod. Let the velocity of this point Q be v. Now we can say the velocity of point A, let this point be P, it is moving at an angle alpha with a speed u. Now as we know, the velocity of this point P with respect to Q. Suppose an observer is sitting at Q and this point P. So this velocity appears to be u sin alpha and this is u cos alpha. And this velocity is v sin beta and this velocity is v cos beta. And we know, since the length of this rod is constant, because L is constant, so we can say u cos alpha, since L is constant, so u cos alpha is the velocity of this particle along this length must be equal to v cos beta. So v cos beta, this is first expression. So from here we can say, because the length of the rod is constant, so the separation between particle P and Q is 0. So from here we can say V, that is equal to u cos alpha divided by cos beta. Now for angular velocity, if the person is sitting at Q, so velocity of P with respect to Q along this perpendicular direction is u sin alpha minus v sin beta. This is u sin alpha minus v sin beta. So omega is equal to v by, let this be v, it is v by L. So it is equal to u sin alpha, because u cos beta and u cos alpha will remain, v cos beta and u cos alpha will remain same. So it is u sin alpha minus v sin beta divided by L. Or in general we can say omega is equal to omega is equal to u sine alpha minus v. V means u cos alpha divided by cos beta whole divided by L. So omega is equal to u sine alpha cos beta minus u cos alpha sin beta divided by L into cos beta, or this is equal to u sin alpha minus beta divided by L cos beta. This is the angular velocity of the rod, and this is clockwise. If this is positive, alpha minus beta is positive, then it is clockwise. If alpha minus beta is negative, then it is anti-clockwise. So we can say omega is mod of this. Mod of this will give me the angular velocity in radian per second. Now this question, a spotlight is a spotlight which is rotating with some angular velocity omega, and omega is 0.1 radian per second. It is given. The spot of light P, this is P, this is the spot on this wall which is at distance 3 meter. So this spotlight, this light is moving in an anti-clockwise direction such that this light spot at P moves with some speed v. So I can say let this distance be x. So we can say x is equal to, let this angle be theta. So we can say x is equal to 3 into tan theta. So from here if I differentiate it dx by dt, which is equal to vx, and that is equal to 3, differentiation of tan theta is sec square theta into d theta by dt, and d theta by dt is actually the angular velocity. So we can say vx is equal to 3 sec square 45 degree, because at that instant theta is 45 degree. So I can say sec square 45 degree is 2, because cos 45 degree is 1 by root 2. So sec 45 degree is root 2. So sec square 45 degree is 2 into d theta by dt we know is omega, which is equal to 0.1. So this comes out to be 0.6 meter per second. This is the speed of this light spot along this wall. This is Vx. Now if a point moves along a circle with constant speed, suppose this is a point P which moves in a circle with constant speed V0, then prove that the angular speed at any point on the circle is half to that about the center. Let this be the center and this is the point on the circle. Now this angle is alpha, this angle is alpha, so we can say let this angle be theta. So from here we know theta is equal to 2 times alpha, because this alpha plus this alpha is theta, and since this is an isosceles triangle, because this length and this length are r, so 2 alpha is theta. If I differentiate it, d theta by dt is equal to 2 times d alpha by dt, and d theta by dt is omega about c. This is the angular velocity of the particle about center of the circle. This is equal to 2 times d alpha by dt is omega about s. So omega about c is 2 times omega about s, or omega about s, or omega about s is 1 by 2 times omega about c. So this is the proof that the particle half the angular velocity as that at c. A horizontal plane support a stationary vertical cylinder. So this is a cylinder, this is a vertical cylinder, and a particle of radius r, and a disk A. This is a disk, this is a small particle which is attached at A by a string of length L0. At initial velocity V0 is imparted to the disk as shown. This particle is given a speed V0. How long will it take to move along the plane until it strike the cylinder? Now suppose this string, as this particle will move, the string wraps on this disk and the particle is moving like this. Finally, after some time the particle is here and the string wraps like this. Finally, when the particle strike it here, this is the motion of the particle.
After some time the particle is here, after some time it 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 is here, and finally it is strike at time t. So if it is strike at time t, this angle is theta naught, and we can say this theta naught is equal to L naught by R, because length of this string is L naught, this length is L naught. So this theta naught is L naught by R. Now at any instant, suppose this is our disk and this is particle, this is center. Initially the particle is located here. This is the particle A. It is projected, it is thrown with a speed v0 in horizontal plane. This figure is in horizontal plane in a frictionless surface. So this is T, this length is L0. After some time the particle is here. The particle, the string makes an angle, some angle. This is the string. Now the particle is like this. This speed is v0. The speed of the particle will remain same because tension is always acting perpendicular to velocity. So this tension is only providing centripetal acceleration. So it is not changing the magnitude of velocity. So speed of the particle will remain constant. So now this length is, let this angle be theta. Now if this angle is theta, I will produce this length, this string. Now we can see this is 90 degree, this is also 90 degree. So if this is theta, this angle is 180 minus theta. This is pi minus theta, because it is a cyclic quadrilateral. If we see this quadrilateral, this is cyclic. So if this angle is pi minus theta, this angle is also theta. Now this radius, we can say this radius r is equal to L0 minus r into theta. This length traveled by the particle is r into theta. This angle is theta, this is r. So this length is r theta. So this r becomes L0 minus r theta, this distance. Now the particle is moving with speed v. So we also know ds, that is equal to r into d theta. Now ds is also equal to, ds is the small displacement. So ds is v0 into dt, this is ds, and this ds is v0 into dt, because the speed of the particle is constant. So I will write ds, that is equal to v0 into dt, where r is equal to L0 minus r into theta into d theta. So this is our final expression after integration of this expression. Now if I integrate this, I will write it here, v0 into dt is equal to L0 minus r theta, this is L0 minus r theta into d theta. So if I integrate this expression, we get v0 into dt is t, which is equal to L0 into theta minus r into theta square by 2. And we know theta final, theta is initially from 0 to theta naught. We know theta naught is also equal to L naught by r. So if I substitute the final value of theta, we get v naught into t is equal to L naught into theta. Theta is L naught by r minus r by 2 into theta naught square. So it is equal to L naught square by r square. So on solving, we get v naught into t, that is equal to L naught square by 2r, because this is equal to L naught square by r minus L naught square by 2r. So v naught into t is this. So we get t, that is the time when this particle strikes this cylinder, is L naught square by 2 v naught into r. This is the time when the particle strikes the cylinder. So this is the answer. Find the change in velocity of a tip of a minute hand of a clock in 45 minutes. Suppose this is the clock, it is moving, the angular velocity of the minute hand is omega, which is equal to 2 pi by 60 minute. This is in radian per minute. This is the angular velocity of this minute hand make one complete revolution in 60 minutes. So this is 2 pi radian divided by 60 minutes. This is the angular velocity. Now the velocity at this point is VA, V initial. We know V initial is equal to R omega naught I cap. Let this be our x-axis and this be our y-axis. So I can say let the initially it is here and this is V naught R omega naught I cap. Now when this moves an angle 45, when after 45 minutes the minute hand is here and it is moving in this direction, this is Vf. So I can say final velocity after 45 minutes is R omega naught J cap. So the change in velocity, we can set change in velocity, that is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity. So this is equal to final means R omega naught J cap minus R omega naught I cap. This is the total change in velocity. So if I take the magnitude, so it is delta V, which is equal to root over 2 times R into omega naught. So this is equal to root over 2 times R, and we know R is equal to 10 centimeters. So it is 10 into omega naught, and omega naught is 2 pi by 60. So this will cancel out and this comes out to be pi root 2, it is root 2 pi root 2 by 3 centimeter per minute. This is the answer because we have taken time in minute and length in this R is in centimeter. So the speed is in centimeter per minute. This is the final answer. A fan complete 1200 revolution every minute. So we can say omega of this fan is 1200 into 2 pi radian per minute means divided by 60. Omega is 1200 into 2 pi by 60 radian per second. This is the angular velocity of the fan. Consider a point on the blade of radius this. Radius of particle is 0.15. Through what distance does the particle move in one revolution? So first part is A. The distance travel, we know distance is 2 pi r. So it is 2 into pi. Pi means 3.14 into 0.15. So we can say this is equal to, so we can say 2 into 3.14 into 0.15 is equal to, this is equal to 0.94 meter approximately. Second question, what is the speed of that point? So B part is, we know V is equal to R into omega. So we know R, that is 0.15 meter, and omega is 1200 into 2 pi by 60 meter per second. So after multiplication it comes out to be 18.85 meter per second. This is the second answer. What is the acceleration? We know acceleration is C part, acceleration is R omega square. So R we know it is 0.15 and omega is 1200 divided by 60 into 2 pi whole square. So solving it we get the acceleration which is in meter per second square. This is the C part. Now this question, a particle move in a circle of radius half meter. So radius of the particle is half meter, 1 by 2 meter at a speed that uniformly increases. So final speed of the particle is 4 meter per second and the initial speed is 2 meter per second in the interval of 4 seconds. So now from here we can say find the angular acceleration. We have to find alpha is equal to, not wrong. Now we can say the final speed is initial speed. So final speed is 4, that is equal to 2 plus a, and the time is 4 seconds. So we get a, that is equal to 4 minus 2 divided by 4, that is 1 by 2 meter per second square. And we also know the particle is moving in a circle, so a is also equal to r into alpha. So we know a 1 by 2 and r, that is known half meter, so it is 1 by 2 into alpha. So alpha comes out to be 1 radian per second square, and this is the answer. So 1 by 2 will cancel out, and alpha comes out to be 1 radian per second square. This is the angular acceleration of the particle. The speed of the particle moving in a circle of radius 2 meter varies as v is equal to t square. The speed of the particle is given by v is equal to t square. Now first question is v is expressed in meter per second and radius is equal to 2 meter. Now we have to find the radial acceleration. We know first part, radial acceleration ar is equal to v square by r. So radial acceleration comes out to v square, means it is t power 4 by r, that is equal to t power 4 by r means 2. This is the radial acceleration at any time t. In the same way, we have to find the tangential acceleration. So tangential acceleration we know is dv by dt, and we know v is equal to t square, so it is 2t. So this is the tangential acceleration of the particle. The net acceleration, we know the total acceleration a total, third part is total acceleration is root over, the magnitude of total acceleration is root over ar square plus at square, and we know ar square means it is at t is equal to 2 second, ar is equal to, it is 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 4 divided by 2, that is equal to 8 meter per second square. This is ar, and at, that is equal to, it is 4. So we can say ar plus square means 8 square plus 4 square, that is equal to root over, it is 64 plus 16. So it is equal to root over 80 meter per second square. This is the acceleration, total acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds. A particle moving in a circular path with v is equal to alpha t square, where alpha is a positive constant. If the radius of the circle is r, then find the time when the angle between velocity and acceleration becomes 45 degree. Let the velocity v, we know v is equal to alpha into t square. So the tangential acceleration can be written as dv by dt, and that is equal to 2 alpha into t. This is the tangential acceleration of the particle, and we know normal acceleration is equal to v square by r. So v square is alpha square t power 4 by r. So this is the normal acceleration, this is the tangential acceleration. So we can say if this acceleration makes an angle 45 degree, so this is also 45 degree. So we can say tan theta, tan 45 degree is equal to at by an, and which is equal to 1. We know tan 45 degree is 1. So at that instant, when the velocity and total acceleration, this a represents the total acceleration, and when the angle between velocity and total acceleration is 45 degree, at that instant at by an is also tan 45 degree. So we can say tan 45 is 1, so at is equal to an. At that instant, when the velocity, the angle between velocity and acceleration vector is 45 degree, at that instant the magnitude of tangential acceleration and magnitude of radial acceleration both become same. So at is equal to, we know at is 2 alpha t, so it is 2 alpha t, and an is alpha squared t power 4 by r. So from here this alpha will cancel out, this t will cancel out to become t cube. So t cube is equal to 2 r by alpha, or time t is equal to 2r by alpha whole to the power 1 by 3 second. So this is the time when the angle between velocity vector and total acceleration vector becomes 45 degree. A particle move in a circle of radius 1 meter with a speed given by v is equal to 2t square minus 1, where v is in meter and time is in second. Find the radial acceleration at t is equal to 2 second. We know radial acceleration ar is equal to v square by r. So we know v square 2t square minus 1 whole square divided by r is 1. So this is equal to radial acceleration is v square by r. At t is equal to 2 second, it becomes 2 into 2 8 minus 1 is 7 square, which is equal to 49. This is meter per second square. At t is equal to 2 second, this is the radial acceleration. This is a tangential acceleration. We know b part. The tangential acceleration is similar, that is equal to dv by dt, and the tangential acceleration dv by dt is 4 into t, that is equal to 4 into 2, that is equal to 8 meter per second square. This is 4 into 2, that is 8 meter per second square. Now the magnitude of total acceleration at t is equal to 1 second. So we know the tangential acceleration, the magnitude of net acceleration is root over tangential acceleration. So it is at t is equal to 1 second, it is 1, so it is 1 square, plus tangential acceleration is 4 into 1, that is 4 square, so it is root over 17. This is in meter per second square. This is the answer. A balloon starts rising from the surface of earth. The ascension rate is constant and equal to v0. Due to the wind, the balloon gathers the horizontal component of velocity given by vx, that is equal to ay, where a is a constant and y is the height of ascent. Find how the following quantities depend on height of ascent. First, the horizontal drift of the balloon xy and the total tangential normal acceleration of the balloon. Now first thing, we'll draw our x-axis. This is our x-axis. Let this be our y-axis. Let this be our ground, which is along x-axis. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. Let at t is equal to 0, the balloon starts its motion from origin. As it is given that vy, that is equal to v0, and this is, it is constant, and vx, that is equal to a into y. Now from here we can say vy, that is dy by dt, and that is equal to v0. So we can say y is equal to v0 into t. This is the first expression. This is the value of y as a function of time. Now we can say vx, that is equal to dx by dt, and dx by dt, that is equal to a into y, and y is v0 t. So I will write here, it is v0 into t. So dx comes out to be a into v0 into t into dt. So after integration we get x, that is equal to a v0 into t square by 2. This is the x coordinate of the particle as a function of time. So now if I substitute the value of time in this expression, means if I say t, that is equal to y by v0, I get x, which is equal to a v0 by 2 into t square, means y square by v0 square. So this v0 will cancel out, we get x, that is equal to a y square by 2 v0. This is the value of x as a function of y. This is the first answer. Now if we see this particle, this balloon is moving in a parabolic path, and the locus is like this. It is moving like this. So let the velocity of the balloon at any time t, the balloon is here at distance x and this height is y. Let the velocity of the balloon here be v. So this is the velocity of the balloon. Now we can say the velocity of the balloon at any time t is written as v. V is equal to vx I cap plus vy j cap. So I can say the velocity of the balloon, that is equal to Vx. Vx means it is Ay I cap plus Vy is V naught J cap. It is given. So this is the velocity of the balloon at any instant when it is at distance y from the ground. So acceleration of the balloon, we can say acceleration of the balloon is dv by dt, that is equal to a into dy by dt I cap plus 0 j cap. So acceleration of the balloon is a and dy by dt is vy, that is equal to v naught I cap. So this is the acceleration of the balloon and this is the net acceleration of the balloon. This is total acceleration of balloon. Now first we have to calculate the tangential acceleration. Now if we see this figure, the acceleration of the balloon is along x-axis. This is the acceleration of the balloon. Let this angle be theta. So now we can say the tangential acceleration of the balloon is this. This is at and this is an. This is the normal acceleration. We can say at. We know tangential acceleration of the balloon at is a mod of acceleration into cos theta, which can be written as a dot v divided by mod of v. This is the tangential acceleration of the balloon, which is equal to a dot v. We know a means it is equal to a v naught I cap. This is the acceleration dot velocity. We know velocity is a y I cap plus v naught j cap divided by mod v means root over a square y square plus v naught square. So the tangential acceleration comes out to be dot product I dot I is 1 and I dot j is 0. So it is equal to a square v naught into y divided by root over a square y square plus v naught square. This is the tangential acceleration of the balloon. Now for normal acceleration, a normal is magnitude of normal acceleration is a into sine theta, and we know this can be written as mod of a cross v divided by mod v. So magnitude of this will give me the normal acceleration. So normal acceleration is a cross v. So it is a means it is a v naught I cap cross, that is equal to a y I cap plus v naught j cap divided by mod of v means root over a square y square plus v naught square. Now we know I cross I is 0 and I cross j is k, and mod of that is, so the normal acceleration comes out to mod of k cap is 1. So now here we get a v naught square, because this term and this term will be there, divided by root over a square y square plus v naught square. This is the normal acceleration of the balloon.